What is going on, you guys? Good morning. Happy Money Monday. New month filled with opportunity. New week filled with opportunity. Markets are about to open here in 5 minutes. Let's get the ball rolling, huh? Hopefully you guys all had a good weekend. Stock futures are flat after NASDAQ post worst month since 2008. Currently, as of right now, futures are green across the board. Some of the top headlines got Buffett and Munster talking about Apple. We were just looking at Apple last night with Sunday Stock Talk, how Apple really wasn't getting affected by the recent downfall in the market. Looking up at the daily chart with Apple, it's still up near its all-time highs, pushing up higher with strength. Apple is a juggernaut on its own, in its own world. So we put out a list yesterday, our weekly watch list, and I think it's safe to say a lot of our stocks that were on our watch list, they're gapping up and looking good this morning. CYN is continuing to squeeze up. That one was a good one. Also, Redbox, RDBX. Nice euphoric squeeze this morning. We've seen this one gapping up. This one was an easy one. Beautiful squeeze all day Friday. Nice parabolic gap up to 750s. Hard to say if this one's going to continue though right out of the open, because you got to think about everybody who swung this over the weekend. We may get one quick pop on it and run, and then after that it'll probably fade all day. SOUN is a new IPO. We've been talking for the longest now. New name IPOs have been hot, so play them. SOUN opened 3 days ago. This is gapping up pre-market. I think if we can hold up at that $10, we can see a real good run with SOUN. Also note too, I've been dropping a lot of video lessons for you guys. I've been trying to drop one every single day. So we got another lesson dropping today at I think around 3:30. And then we're also streaming live today on YouTube as well. We got the VIX. Good call out on the VIX there, Frank. VIX hitting a high up there at 3450s. The lower this market goes, we already know the higher the VIX goes, because more panic comes into the market. People freak out when the market keeps falling down lower and lower, but I embrace it when the markets fall like this, because it only presents opportunity. I've been saying it all this year so far. I hope all year markets just slowly decay. We need it. They need a well-deserved rest. And even with the markets falling like that, we've still been seeing opportunity out here every day in small cap land. Every day. Multiple times throughout the week, the market gives us opportunity. Just got to know where to look. So markets just opened up. Let's see how this market opens up and pay attention to the theme. It's a new month. So we need to reset our mind and our eyes to themes going on across the board. This is a good practice that I like to do at the beginning of every month. We also got a lot of companies putting out earnings still this week too. I think, what was it? Like 1,300 companies are putting out earnings this week. By Wednesday and Thursday, companies are going to be putting out majority of their earnings. Yeah, that's a good point too there, Irish. With the Fed's meeting up this Wednesday, that's going to determine if the bloodbath continues, or are we going to get some type of rally. You never really know what the SPY and the indexes are going to do. It's just best to take it one day at a time. There's no point in trying to predict what's going to happen with the indexes. I feel for the people who try trading these indexes. It's super hard to trade these indexes. Red box. Be careful on this one. It's going to be overcrowded with volume. It's, remember, man, it already made its move. Look at back, way back here on this right here. When was this? April 26th. It's the same exact setup as today. Zoom in on this right here. Notice how this day it trended up all day, and then you got that gap up and quick morning spike to trap people, and then it faded all day. Fast forward to this, it's the same exact thing, man. Human nature never changes. You got to think about all the people who have just been getting in on this throughout all Friday. They had no reason to sell. And now today they're waking up and they're all up in the money. So they're all going to take their profits. This stock ran up nonstop from $3.30 all the way up to $7.50. That's a good run. A lot of volume pumping into this. We still got stocks like ATER. This was on the weekly watch list. This has got a good setup on the 10-minute. This could run up here to $6, $6.50. Remember way back when the pandemic was just starting and markets were selling off, and this was probably your first time going through this experience. But remember when markets were selling off, and you remember volume kept coming back to the same stocks that were performing, right? ATER, VERU, Redbox, CYN. It's the same thing happening over again. Look at how many days straight CYN has been in play. RDBX, Redbox, VERU. All these different small cap stocks, consistent volume and movement every day while the market's been selling off. This is something that I've noticed throughout my career. People are going to come back to what has been performing. See, quick pop there in CYN. This has been trending up. That trend is down there at like $5. CYN is pretty far away from that trend. VERU This was on the weekly watch list. We liked how it was just tightly pulling back, and we said $11 is to make it or break it for VERU. This morning we're gapping up, so I think if we hold, we need to hold at that low right there, 1225, and build up off of that. Clean break over 13 for VERU. We can run back up here to $14, $15 potentially. Draw a trend line out on that. We got room to run up to 1450 just about. Market, the SPY is free falling. Look at that. I don't know how low she's gonna fall, you guys. I really don't. We're making new lows on the daily chart. With the SPY here, we're making new year lows. The last time we were this low was way back here in 2021, last year. So SPY free falling, VIX is gonna go up higher. Watch the UVXY. I'm gonna throw up UVXY. FRGE. Yeah. FRGE, this is another good one. This breaks up over that previous day's close. 19 could pop up to 20. This has got a lot of potential, and this stock, it likes to run, man. Here on a Friday, look at the light volume on it, and this stock ran up $5 a share. Yeah, that earnings table, you're not even in the feed here. That's earnings whisperer, my dude. Go to the calendar. Up over 20 bucks. FRGE, that could run to 24, 25. There goes ATER. This could push up to 550, $6. And then we also have Zntl. This one recently had a huge downfall. I've just been keeping my eyes on this one to see how it plays out. After getting this free fall and drill down, it's been starting to trend up. We break up over 28. This will run up to 30. See how that one plays out. Very light volume on it. Oh yeah, I heard that damn, this website's old. Open Insider. Yeah, this is a good website you could use for your SEC filings. I wanted to see real quickly. I seen a tweet last night from that docu that they recently remodeled their website. ATER is really exploding up. 550. Damn, look at that rally in the SPY. Holy shit, dude. Look at that. You can also use that website I talk about all the time, Docho. They just remodeled the website. If you click on earnings, they'll pull up the calendar and it'll tell you how many companies every day are putting out earnings. And it'll highlight like today AMD, Pfizer, BP are putting out earnings. And also how many companies are putting out your SEC filings here. We got one IPO this week, BLCO, opening on Thursday. Looks like a few splits. Um, what you could do is on Instagram, follow Earnings Whisperer, and every day they'll post that calendar on there too. Yeah, that calendar's got to be on here somewhere. Yep, they got a Instagram account. See if the market can gear up right here, blow up over that previous day's close and start rallying. APRN. This one, Blue Apron. This one is a familiar name. This is getting a nice gap up from that downtrend it was in. This starts running, it can run $455. They just did 70.5 million planned capital infusion through debt and equity financing. Blue Apron. Good push here on the SPY with that gear up just under that previous day's close. Man, bulls straight up took control down there at 409. Yeah, that SLUN turned out to be garbage. LGVN has been bottoming out at that 10. This one's been a good one. You could see a bounce on it potentially today back up here to 1150. See how it acts at that 10 bucks. Volume dried up on this one though. Red boxes halted to the upside. So random, man. Look at all that resistance at 750 this morning. The long upper wicks, you could draw a straight line right at that 750. Then it falls off from 750 to 650, halted, reopens, and then rips up and is halted again. It's so random. Who knows where this opens? Rome says he sees AUST should IPO today. They're in the gold mining. It's possible for it to get some hype based on the current state of the market. Ticker AUST. I'll add it to the new IPO list. I looked at the list. I only seen one IPO opening this week. You know, didn't gold, though, recently just go on a good bullish run for a couple of years? Let's look at GLD. Yeah, I remember back a few years ago, a lot of people were commenting on long-term investing gold a few years ago because there was a trader out there. What was his name? I think his name was like Foss or something. He was preaching about gold. Back in 2019, it started running. It ran all the way through 2020, and it topped out here in 2022. So gold went on an epic run. Now it's starting to free fall. Looks like 170 for gold. Yeah, watch out for CYN. We were talking about this before the market opened. Technically, the trend line for CYN is all the way down there at $5. So this has been holding trend for the longest. With this gapping up, opening, and running up here to 620s, you're $1.25 from your trend line. So that flush out this morning, that shouldn't even phase you. Focus on that overall big picture. CYN still has not gone euphoric yet. And real quickly, I just found this last night. You guys might like this. Where is it at? Cycle of the market, but in emojis. You know how we always talk about the euphoric stage? Right there. After stocks have been trending up for some time, and then you get that euphoric grand finale. We haven't got that yet with CYN. You know, APRN has been pulling back tightly too. Look at that pullback on the 3-minute. The volume is stair-stepping down. Real tight pullback here. APRN could, in one candle, surge up to a new high, 450. So keep a close eye on APRN. I could see it running to 450. That's where that 200-day moving average is on the daily chart. Or 50-day moving average, I'm sorry. Real quickly, I got a question for you guys. In the weekly chat, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, do you guys see spammers commenting in there? Because I click on Tuesday and I see old army guy said stranger danger, but I don't see anything. Did the bot delete it? I don't see it at all. Like, the channels will be highlighted white, and I seen somebody commented in the crypto about how bad scammers and spammers be commenting and pinging you guys, but I don't see it. So I don't know if it's sticking in there and you guys are seeing it and I don't. I thought I resolved the issue. Huh. Watch out for APRN, you guys. It's looking pretty good. I like the way volume is pulling back on this. We may get one good shot on APRN. It's gearing up right here under $4. This thing could start skipping up over 4 and run to 450. I like the way it's pulling back. That Zntl is still pushing too. Pushing up to 28 bucks. The SPY is still battling for a new high. Notice right here with APRN That's your little micro pullback for the next surge candle it could potentially have to 450. Volume's getting really close. You can see it. It's got 18.6 million in volume. Compared to Redbox has got 35 million in volume. DLTE, new IPO too. Oh yeah, BLTE, that can pop back up to like 13. We'll look at that here in a moment. Let me see how this APRN plays out. So far, so good on APRN. I would have liked a explosion up over that $4. Right now, it's grinding and getting that. Just look at that nonstop flow of volume right there. After the volume retracement this morning. So I'd say if we pull back again on APRN, we're probably going to pull back down to that $3.90. $4.50 is going to be your first target for APRN. Man, it's a battle with the Bears and the Bulls with the SPY. I think it's a good risk versus reward. I'm not, I wouldn't give it, no. You're giving it a risk of around 10 pennies. From 4 right here, your stop loss would be just below $3.90. There is no putting your stop loss at $3.75. That'd be pointless because that's down where the low of day is. I mean, you could if you wanted, but right now it's a good risk versus reward. You're risking 10 cent to make upwards of 50 cent. That's a 5-to-1 risk versus reward, man. It's all in the way you look at it and you put together a plan. Follow the trend line. You had your low of day here at 375. Then your next low was right here at 385. So if anything, your next low, and you're raising your stop every time. This is a good risk versus reward. And it's the best play right now out there, in my opinion, that I can see. It's all about how you manage your idea and your what you see on the chart, right? Side note, you got NUTX starting to heat up. That's that newer IPO. It's starting to run back up towards 10. Red box ran all the way up to $9. I'm still liking this APRN. They're pulling it back really tightly. I like it. I also like how it's breaking up and out of this downtrend it was in. You got good volume today too. Normally on the days it has good volume. From what I can see here, there's one big green day. And then right here, that day, let's see, long upper wick right there. So it did have a run. It just failed to hold its gains. Now we're starting to get that pop. real fast and then flushes out. Boom. Not good. $3.90 has to hold. Damn, Redbox is just on a roll. Yeah, APRN's done. Redbox is approaching 50 million in volume. That's a huge run for this. 55% to the upside. CYN, that didn't last. Give me a second. Let me open up my broker. Sure is hanging on to that trend line, isn't it? If it fails at that trend line here at 390, it will flush down to the lows. There she flushed. Wah, wah, wah. Should have focused on Redbox. Yeah, good move on FRGE. The trooper with that non-stop run up right there. ATER still making a run. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's like everything that I'm looking at, it's like I don't really know if I want to trust it. I had my focus on APRN. That one failed and stalled out on me. Redbox is running up stupid. That's where all the volume's at. The markets are in the toilet. It's good to scale back like that. Takes balls to admit defeat like that and to recalibrate. This NUTX looks decent. This one can shoot up to 1050. If this gets momentum, it could really start to run. Looks like it's gearing up on the 3-minute for that shot up. But right now, I'm second guessing my judgment because of APRN. It seems to always happen too. Right when you start to get more and more confidence and you start to size up on your position, that's when you start losing, and then you lose confidence, and then you got to rescale back. The constant, it's hard to show up every day mentally prepared. It's really hard to do that. You got to constantly be in the zone day in and day out, because all it takes is for one screw up, one bad day to wipe away so much hard work. My biggest downfall was stocks like Redbox here. I would consistently do well, and something like Redbox would pop up, and I'd get stupid and aggressive on something like this, and I would get stubborn, and I would take a loss, and I wouldn't want to admit it and admit defeat, and I'd overtrade it, and then before I knew it, my P&L would be down super huge, and I'd give back all of that hard work I would consistently grind every day. That's why when these stocks like this pop up and they go stupid like that, I don't even pay attention to them anymore, because I've learned, stay away from them. They're just emotional. You're not going to get nowhere with them. You're not. Sure, if you do hit it, you'll hit big, but is it really worth it down the long road? To me, no. That's why I much rather focus on the easy background plays that people forgot about. Then that's just through my personal experience, you guys. That's where I got my belief. Yep. I've been trying really hard this year to focus on big picture plays, big picture ideas. To be honest with you guys, I really have not been day trading much. I haven't. If anything, I'm taking a trade on something and I'm holding it for a few days. There just really has been no... The markets are different than they were. They are. I noticed they're different. And things that were working a year ago, they're not working in today's markets. You need to be more flexible with the range and focus on the big picture at hand. Like, watch, your idea with APRN will probably play out with having your stop loss down there at 375 versus me trying to be tight and keeping it up at 390. Watch, it's just all about a simple thing like that, and then the stock will do exactly as we thought. But on my end, I got burnt, and someone who was a little bit more loose with their stop loss would have gotten paid out, you know? It's all a big mental game. And that's where your size comes into play there. Look at Redbox. Look at that straight line. Right at $10. Watch this just do something stupid and explode up over 10 and run up to $15, $20. I can't even touch this. I can't. If I was new and it was year one, I would have gotten emotional eyeballing this for this run up right when it was starting to push up to 10. I'd be market order, buy in, get trapped, and it'd flush out $2 on me. That happened to me so many times. Happened to a lot of people. It's called emotional trading. Looks like the Bulls finally won. That was a fucking battle. The Bulls were trying so hard to break it to a new high, but Bears kept bringing it down. But then the Bulls kept stepping in with these long bottom wicks, saving it. And then the Bears took hold for a hot second. Yeah, I mean, it was a battle, dude. ATER. As long as ATER holds up over old highs, that's what you want. It keeps trying to gear up for that push up higher. 575, $6 is gonna be. Oh yeah, that 200-day moving average. Yeah, now I see it. Right there. Then if you really look at it too, let's measure that real quick. If you're to measure from the high down to the low, this is bounced up 50%. How many times have we seen that? So everything's aligning at that level there. It's crazy how everything can converge like that at one specific area when you use different techniques. That's a run up. Yup. Now you see why I preach so much about that 200-day moving average, and I stick behind it a lot. When I see it up on the daily chart, I don't even try to fight it. Hell no. We've seen so many stocks come up and just kiss that 200-day moving average and then just fall right back down. I was really wanting APRN this morning. Watch. It will come back and squeeze up higher. I'm not even gonna battle with it. Red box, who knows how far that goes. I'm not even gonna touch it. I need to start scanning around. Tesla fell through that 200-day on the daily. I'd watch out for Tesla. Tesla's known for squeezing, though. Last time it looked all weak up in here. It's squeezed up. Now with it falling down again, and it's falling down below that 200-day moving average, Tesla has come back and squeezed out short so many times in the past, it's unreal. Facebook's having a good day. That's good. This day's good right here. I'm curious to think what you guys have to say. I've been on the edge about adding Facebook to the long-term portfolio. I want to believe in the metaverse thing and what Facebook is doing with it. What do you guys think? Where do you guys see Facebook going? Do you think it's a bad decision getting involved with the metaverse? Or do you think that this is the idea that puts the nail in the coffin for Facebook? Neutral on metaverse could go either way. Think the pain in the market is not over yet, and all of those tech stocks are going to keep going lower eventually. Yes, not yet. Yeah, that's the thing with a good company. They're not afraid to branch out and dabble in different territories. Like Instagram. Instagram is a huge popular social media app. Watch APRN. Watch this thing squeeze up like we thought. Playing your stop really, really tight on these like an idiot. And then later on you watch it run without you. If this does run, Frank, you were right on the money, dude. You said 375. That's exactly where it came down to. They're sitting at the 2018 levels. I hear a lot of people saying Facebook is dead. It just reminds of the people who told me oil was dead 2 years ago. Remember that little comic book strip I shared yesterday? It's kind of like this. You should buy a stock whenever the chart looks like a squirrel sitting on a clown's shoulder. That's called technical analysis. I'm not gonna do that. Good, because it doesn't work if everyone does it. I'd say if you hear everybody bashing and talking bad about it, I would go for it. You always want to try to do the opposite of what everybody's saying. NUTX pushing up to $10. I think it'll flush out again. Back down to 925. I could be wrong though. It'll probably push. F the FRGE runs all the way up to 24. We were literally just saying that it over that $20, it's got room to run up to 24, 25. This what I'm talking about. Whenever I told you guys, there's always that one stock or a couple stocks that is stealing the attention. Redbox, all that just non-stop stupid volume flowing into it all day. Very high risk, high reward type of play stock. The other one was what's the other one? Well, Redbox, the number one stock of the day. And what would happen, I'd get tunnel vision on something like this. And I noticed the corner of my eye, these other stocks like FRGE would be pushing up effortlessly on little volume, significantly less volume than the number one stock. And I'd always be telling myself, like, man, this could have been, all I had to have done was focus on this one and not the stock everybody and their mother was playing and paying attention to. FRGE, it's only got $1.2 million in volume on the day versus Redbox. Redbox has got 70 million in volume. I don't think that the markets are gonna necessarily crash. I think it's just gonna be a slow decay. It's gonna be a slow decay all this year. It could run into all next year. It just needs a well-deserved long rest after that huge bull market run for 13 years. If we can slowly just decay for a year, 2 years, that's a well-deserved rest. And then we reset, and then we go into another bull run that will last, another 5 to 10 years. That's what I'm hoping. But anything could happen, man. It's always good to have an opinion on what you think is going to happen. That way we get to see it from all different perspectives. Yeah, I was watching Warren Buffett and Munzer video from 2 years ago, and they were talking about how they were asking Munzer, do you think the bull run is over in 2020? And Munzer said, I think it's far from over. And they're talking about how the idea they had to print more money, how they didn't know if it was going to work or if it was going to fail. It worked, and we were able to chip off a lot of debt, get money flowing into the world, and it was a pretty good interview. And I'm just thinking, like, man, this was 2 years ago when he was talking about this stuff, and he was right. Market continued to run up stupid for the next 2.5 years. This FRGE's looking like it's gearing up for a pop-up higher, but this thing, it already ran, what's that, from $19, $18 there, non-stop, just trending up. A $7 run up on FRGE the first 2.5 hours of the day, or no, hour and a half, I'm sorry. So once that trend line breaks on FRGE, this thing's gonna crack hard. Now red box, measure this move. The low there to the high, this pulled back 50% to 820, bouncing currently back up to 950s here. This is definitely a high risk, high reward. It could squeeze up higher. This is either a stock you're with it or you're not. I'm not gonna touch it. APRN still setting up for that push to 450. Man, how many times have you guys seen a setup or just a chart, and you're just like, man, that's a good setup. That's a good play right there. And without even thinking about it, you took it and it played out. And it was like some of the easiest money you've made just effortlessly. Remember that feeling. That's how it should be. That's when from that saying comes from. Trading should be effortless, like walking over to the other side of the room and picking up money. Haven't been feeling that much in 2022. 2022, it's been a different story because not everything is running up and making new highs nonstop. Gotta adapt. Markets change, you gotta evolve with them. All this year, it's been big picture ideas, focusing more on the general trend for the stock. Like with a lot of stocks, you've noticed we've been plotting out a lot recently a make it or break it line, or if a stock's in an uptrend or has a potential setup for a move higher, we'll establish a line and we say at all costs the stock has to stay above that line for a move up higher. If it falls below that line, it's done. We've been seeing a lot of short squeezes too. Short squeezes, new name IPOs running. Notice this 13 EMA about to be squeezing up over the VWAP. You called that, Frank. You said 375. I'll give that to you. APRN, Blue Apron. This stock has popped up many times in the past. For as long as I've been around, Blue Apron has always been around. The stock has done reverse splits though in the past. So that daily chart, it's different. So let's check this out real quick. Now that APRN has chosen a direction, let's see if it continues to go in that direction. So a pullback to $4. That area there, $4. And then the grand finale move up to 450. See, and look at on Finviz, APRN, it's got an average true range of 35 cents. So on average, Blue Apron, it likes to move up and down effortlessly, 35-cent increments. So you was on the money with that. I was too tight with the stop on AP. That's like a good example too. It's, you can have an idea you could see it clear as day, the stock ripping up higher. You just don't know a specific level it will pull down to, you know? That's why I like to try to implement that make it or break it line. Focus on levels. I totally fucked this one up. That rarely happens. Look at SOUN real quick. We'll come back to APRN. This one was up at 1250. This one was perking up pre-market here, holding that 10. Opened up here at 1250, slammed down into a halt. It got halted 3 times. 3 times. Halted from 1250 all the way down to $8. It's a $4.50 downfall. Broke up out of that, connecting the lower highs here. It was finally holding above it right in here, but that's risky. Rips up out of that 8, rips up here to that $10. Falls back down here to 8, consolidates. Looks like now it's trying to gear up to get up over that $10. We break over that 10, we're going to run up to that next halt level right here. And then we'll probably play around from 10 to that halt level. And then it'll be in limbo. This is where it will be a 50-50. We don't know if it's going to run up and break up to new highs or if it's going to fail and fall apart. That's the idea I'm putting together with it right now. Good rip up over that $10. Now see if it can hold up at 10. Build up, break up over that 11. APRN still looking good for that next leg up. Where's that link I posted yesterday? There goes SOUN. Held 10, nice rip up to 11. SOUN, this could get stupid. APRN grand finale up to that 50-day moving average. Will she get there? What stocks you guys been looking at this morning? Oh, you know, that reminds me with that ACCD, that OST, that stock got beat down. I don't know about this one. This one's dead in the water, man. Mostly Facebook, Microsoft, Amazon, and the indexes. It's watching and waiting. Yeah, the spy really got drilled down there. It's a pretty wavy, man. I bet what's his name? Spicali? Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I bet he'd like that. NIO, good dollar bounce. $1.25 bounce. NIO, this one looks like it's trying to gear up. It was in this trend line here. This trend, downtrend for the longest. It just recently popped up out of it, pulled back, popped there. Zoom in on this a little bit. That decay there, and then that pop. And now it's been pulling back really tightly here. If it holds that 17, you could see this bad boy fire up to probably 18 bucks. Yeah, that's a nice chart. I like it, this chart. NIO. Along with Tesla. Tesla and NIO. Paramount Global. Man, VW, you've been holding out on us, bruh. This para looks pretty good for a squeeze it's setting up. Look at the moving averages come together. That 200 days approaching up to the 50 day, or the 50 days approaching up to the 200 day. Give it a bit more time. Let these moving averages get tighter. Down the road here this week, you could see a good potential squeeze on para here. And then Snapchat. Snapchat looks like it's trying to gear up too. Damn, these are some good stocks you're eyeing here. VW. Good setups potentially. All of them are pretty much similar too. They were all in a recent downtrend, and with it breaking up over that downtrend recently, pulling back, holding at that trend where it broke out from, and then they've popped and now they're pulling back again real tightly for a next potential leg up, but they're all still setting up. Yeah, definitely keep your eyes on them. See how they continue to set up. You want to see them continue to build. APRN is just taking its sweet ass fucking time. Excuse my language. All for a 50-cent move. This stock is just taking its sweet time. Yeah, it's done. Under $4. $4, it's done. Red box has been bouncing off that $8. Once, twice, now 3 times. This one could definitely squeeze up over $10 later on. The big range. Let's go to FinViz and see what's the hot sector today. Look at that. Communication services. We were just looking last night in Sunday's scan. I think I posted it. Where did I post it? In Monday? Yeah. Yesterday afternoon. The worst performing top 3. It was consumer critical. Communication services was the worst performing sector of the month. Going into a new fresh month, it's the number 1 sector today. Let's see what's popping off in it. Penny stock, auto, Roku. Reminds me, I should have more funds hitting my Robinhood account. I think I have like another 500 that should be hitting it any day now. That'll bring that up over 3K. I think I'm gonna sit on it though and wait for my next piece I want to add to that portfolio. With Roku, it's gearing up just under that 100. This could run up to 110. Amazon, let's take a look. Damn, Amazon is getting destroyed, yo. A lot of selling pressure on Amazon. That's what I'm seeing right out of the gates. You can almost look at it in a sense like somebody is taking their thumb and pressing down on this. Look at all of that resistance. Let me make that a little bit bigger. These lines here I'm drawing out. Almost like someone's taking their thumb and pressing down on it. That's a pretty steep decline in Amazon, recently falling 2,920 all the way down to 2,400. It's a $500 decline, and it's in its second straight red day. They just put out earnings. How'd they do on earnings? They didn't do good on earnings. I was just trying to pull it over real quick to check because I have no idea. Alright, so it's like, it's at that fine line though, to where you don't want to enter in short on Amazon after the fact. It's super obvious, you know? It's in a straight free fall. It just fell below that 200-day moving average on the weekly chart. And it just fell below the 50-day on the monthly chart. It just broke that trend too. Wow. Amazon was in a straight up trend on the monthly chart since 2008, 2009. It just broke it. This is what I think's gonna happen. Now refer to this chart. Remember the euphoric chart, right? After a stock has been in an uptrend for so long, and it finally breaks that trend, you get one bounce, and then you get the big epic downfall. You're going to get one bounce on Amazon. Almost like it. See how it topped out right there and it fell, and then it bounced up right here and it failed, and now it cracked and you're getting that big epic downfall. Almost like that. So it's already in it, man. It's already in the downfall. There's your top. There's your crack right there. There's your bounce right there. And then the big epic downfall. Just like that euphoric chart we were just looking at. Right here. Your crack. The first bounce. And then the big epic downfall. I can see it ripping back up to about 2,600. About right there. So I'd wait for Amazon to get one big rip in it up and watch for it to stall out at that 2,600 to where I think it could rip to. I mean, it could pop to 2,500, 2,550 right here, and then continue to fall down. So you'd want to wait. Don't get in on it now wanting to short it. No. Wait for it to get that bounce up and then set your risk above a level and then continue to ride that downfall down. Because this has just got beat down too much right now for you to think of a short on it. Think of it like Redbox right now. With it being up like this so much, think of all the people that want to buy in on this. It'd be a horrible time to buy in on it because look at how much it just ran up, you know? So you got to think the opposite. And what short sellers are doing on this, they're putting their risk up here at this level, waiting for that first bounce, which would probably be up here at like 950, and then waiting for that crack to the free downfall. That's what they're waiting for. Get what I'm saying there on Amazon though? ZYME, my alert just went off. ZYME, this could skip up here to 750. Up over $8. This thing could really take off and run. But with Amazon, you're going to probably want to keep an eye on the QQQ. I believe, let me know if I'm wrong, Hawk. I believe Amazon is in the tech stocks, or the tech index, the QQQ. That makes sense though when you look at it like that with the euphoric chart. Oh, they're in VU too. Well, all of your indexes here, like the S&P 500, it's the 500 biggest companies in the United States. You know, Dow Jones is what, the top 30 companies. So yeah, so Amazon's going to be in the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, and the Nasdaq. There's a way to calculate too how much. Let me see if I can find it. You can see how much of a company is weighted in an index. Watch that video I just posted a link for. I'm watching it right now. Oh, there you go, Rome. Rome said Amazon is 3.7% of the SPY and 7.1% of the Qs. What website did you use to find that out, Rome? I'm curious. There we go. Thank you. You see, man, there's just so much to learn about this stuff, you guys. So much. And to know about this stuff can easily overlook all this stuff. Last night we were just looking at Google because somebody in the stream called out, how does Google look? And we pulled up Google and looked at it. And I'm like, man, Google looks like it's about to be going down hard. Google is in the top 10 holdings. And they have different classes. Looks like 4 or 5% of Google. 4%. Apple is the number one. Microsoft, Amazon. Same for the Qs. You have to dig around Google a bit more if you want to find the weights of all the tickers in the indexes, but normally only care about the top 10. Look at the Q and check Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, Amazon, Nvidia, Google, Facebook. You'll see the difference between the weighting of the tech sector in the S&P 500 and compare it against the NASDAQ. NASDAQ, more tech heavy, same top 10 tickers basically, just higher weights on them. And it's determined by the market capitalization of the company. So another good thing here too with the SPY is your sector weightings. Technology is pretty heavy in the SPY, followed by healthcare and the financial services. Had a brain fart there for a minute. Wow. Yeah, look at the QQQ. 48% is technology. Communication services and consumer critical. No real estate, no basic material, no utilities pretty much, no energy. The top holding Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Facebook, Tesla. I think soon PayPal will be making its way out. PayPal's starting to fall off, I think. And then what about the Dow Jones? At 50% of the QQQ is tech. So a good technique is to watch those top 10 tickers, and when you see the majority of them start to show signs of a reversal, you can trade the QQQ to QQQ. In what direction? Because the index is going to do whatever those top tickers are doing. There we go. DIA for Dow Jones. United Healthcare Group, Goldman Sachs, the Home Depot, Microsoft, McDonald's. Looks like financial services and healthcare are the biggest holdings in the Dow Jones. And then technology is number 3. What? They got Yahoo Finance Plus? Oh, thank you. Foreclosures filings are up 132% from a year prior. Let's say Apple and Microsoft are ripping, but Nvidia is lagging or trading sideways. You could pick up Nvidia expecting it to join the movement as Apple and Microsoft lift the overall index. It's a lot to track, man. It's a lot to track. It's definitely to track all of that, you would need like all those tickers up like how I have all my small caps up. That is a job within itself. But that could be your niche. People make money consistently doing that. Yeah, that deviating guy who used to show up all the time, he was real into all that stuff. he was really big into penny stocks. And then I mentioned ETFs and index to him, and he had no clue about ETFs and inverse ETFs. And he started looking into it and fell in love, man. After that, about 6 months, never heard from him again. He went off and did his own thing with it all. I hope he's doing all right. Looking at this red box, that's just a straight parabolic up. For this to continue, that's a long shot. Your make it or break it line's gonna be $8 for the day. We're about to approach noon. Hard to say what's gonna happen with this. It's a straight up gamble. Yeah, there you go. Damn, you got a little setup there. Dang, you track the Russell 2000 too? Okay. And then you put, looks like your small cap stocks there on the right. Ford, that's been a lot of people been liking that Ford stock. Yeah, I don't. Thinkorswim's really cool. It really is. Talking about the flexible grid. Hmm. Yeah, I know Thinkorswim here has got it. You got charts and flexible grid here. Flexible grid, I have it set like this to line charts, but I barely ever click over to it, you know? Custom grid charts is the one. Yeah, you can click on this and you can all open up multiple different displays here. That's where it's at. But I just use, you already know, I just use Thinkorswim for trading. I like the ladder that they have and the tape. That's all I use it for, really. And sure, I have a few indicators that I like to use with it. Besides that, though, I don't do too much with Thinkorswim. I used to get into it a lot back in the day when I first discovered it. It's more of a technical platform. To name the grids. Oh, yeah. The APRN all day. It's been setting up and in play. Pulling all the way back to that $4. Just taking its sweet time for that move up to 450. Oh wow, I didn't even see you guys here on. Oh, it's all good, Rome. We figured it out with Yahoo Finance. Rome said, I didn't know Berkshire/B was in the top 10 holdings of the SPY. Someone said, Brent oil, look. Not sure if I had any Brent oil. Good run on oil, though. Oil's weird. Oil's real weird. Oil, you have to, it's like the only time you focus on oil is if there's an event that just happened. If they do a report on oil, or if some attack happens, or if news happens with oil, like you need that shock. And that's the only time you trade it. Because after that shock, it's going to slowly fade right back to where it came from. Rome said, I haven't taken that IMTE off my watch list since it keeps holding 4. Man, you know how long I've had IMTE up in the background on my chart here for like 4 or 5 weeks now. Still waiting. Yeah. Thursday, it had a good run up to 5, but then it stalled out and it went right back down. But what's going to happen with this? One day they're going to put a press release out pre-market, and we're going to wake up and it's going to be gapping up to like $10. That's what's going to happen. It's just a matter of when they do it. This stock got beat down like a redheaded stepchild. I posted this link yesterday. 17 secrets to trading, to successful trading. And I was going through here and reading this, and there are a lot of good tips in here. The number one trading secret is that there is no trading secret. Markets love to prey upon you because they know that you're searching. And I quote, make 10 million in just 10 minutes a day. I was approached to mail that to my newsletter subscribers. You can't make this stuff up. No one knows exactly what the market will do. Not you, not me, not the guy who screams on TV. This is huge. The fact that there is no secret allows the hardworking little guy to compete with the big boys. Average intelligence is adequate. This is a big one. In fact, the smarter you are, the longer it might take, because you'll be tempted to try to outsmart the markets for simply following along. As Williams said, I haven't seen much correlation between good trading and intelligence. Many outstandingly intelligent people are horrible traders. Average intelligence is enough. Beyond that, emotional makeup is more important. This brings us to our next point. Keep it simple. Remember how we talk about all the time? People overcomplicate things because it's the easy thing to do. Attitude is more important than aptitude. A market will do whatever it wants, regardless of what you think it should do or how you feel about it. The distance between you and your success is the distance between your ears. As Jesse Livermore once said, a stock speculator sometimes makes mistakes and knows that he is making them. You often might not like what the market is doing, But what is? I don't know how it stops there. A market can only do three things: go up, go down, or go sideways. That might seem like a big captain obvious statement, but many fight the trends or try to make one where there is none. Above is my business card. And no, the bull is not humping the bear and smiling about it. Before you even think about plotting any indicator, ask yourself, is the market higher, lower, or about the same as it was days, weeks, months, or even years ago? The only way to profit from a trade is to capture a trend period. You might sell higher than you bought or cover lower than you shorted. So focus on just that, finding trends and getting on them. Study the price and only price. This brings us to our next point. Remember when I said to you guys, or I say it all the time, first things first, always identify where is the stock at currently. Is it in an uptrend? Is it in a downtrend? Is it consolidating? There's only three possible scenarios that stock could be in. News is noise. The media would have you believe that it's very easy to connect the dots between what's happening in the world and its effect on stocks. If that's all you had to do, a lot more journalists would become traders. This is not to say that news doesn't move markets. It does, however, often the reaction to the news is muted or even completely opposite of what it logically should be. This is because big funds might use the liquidity to exit on good news, or the news might already be baked into the cake. Every methodology has its nuances. Learn and embrace them. There will be times when you print money. You can't let that go to your head. There will be times when you lose money. You can't become distraught. And there will be times where there is nothing to do. You'll have to let the market come to you. If conditions are conducive to your system, you'll have to learn how to wait for a trend following methodology. This means waiting patiently while a market is trading sideways. Do nothing unless there is something to do. Peter Muth said it best. Don't invent trades. When it comes time for me to pick a portrait, I pick someone who's patient any day over someone who's smart. Trading done properly can often be quite boring. Speaking of waiting, don't look to the market for entertainment. Go to Vegas instead. It's a lot cheaper. Or, as I often joke, having an affair. At least that way you only lose half of your money. Seriously, patience is probably the best kept secret when it comes to trading. I often quote Jimmy Rogers. I just can't wait until there is money laying in the corner, and all I have to do is go over there and pick it up. I do nothing in the meantime. In spite of all my teachings and preaching, anytime that I suggest that we mostly sit on our hands, my inbox begins filling with emails. There has to be something we can do. What if we... You need just one and only one simple methodology. You must plan the trade and trade the plan. Yes, that's a cliche, but most don't. They'd rather wing it. People wing it because the moment that you make the plan is the moment that you admit that you could be wrong. And many of those who do plan the trade fail to follow the plan because they think they can outsmart the market by interjecting logic into the equation. The market's heading higher, but the stock is not. I better get out. Stock has had a pretty good run. I don't think it will go any further. Or worse, they let hope rear its ugly head. My stop has been hit, but the stock is oversold. I'm going to wait to see if it will come back. Next to overtrading, lack of planning and micromanagement of the plan are the biggest sins that I see. Yes, winging it and micromanagement will occasionally pay off short term, but never long term. You must obsess before you get into a trade, not afterwards. Write that down. You cannot separate emotions from trading. Many preach that you must eliminate emotions from trading. Unfortunately, it is impossible to make a decision, any decision, without emotions. Through illness or injury, the unfortunate who have had their emotional part of their brain damaged can no longer make decisions, any decisions. One decision has no emotional consequence over the other. So they arrive at a stalemate. Therefore, you must embrace and not try to eliminate your emotions. At some point, all trades will go against you. You'll either get stopped out or you'll give up some open profits in the end. Decision causes emotions and stress. The market is really a bad teacher. I'll encourage you to take small profits before they evaporate, and then you watch in anguish as the stock takes off without you. It'll encourage you to not use stops because the last 10 times the stock came right back after stopping you out. This time, though, you end up with a huge loss. In mediocre times, I'll encourage you to jump ship over the church, over what's happening now, instead of just staying the course. You'll never reap the rewards of a methodology if you're consistently changing the methodologies. Write that down. I say to you guys all the time, take the profits when you have them. You never truly know how long it will last. And then it also implements bad practices and bad habits. You're going to be wrong a lot. Get used to it. I'd make a lot more money in my educational business if I spent more time tutoring how great that methodology is and less time talking about how you can and will often be wrong. A few years back, when the market was looking quite iffy, I received the following. You have been pounding the table the past month, saying that the market is in a lot of trouble. Have you ever thought about picking another line of work? Yeah, I think about another line of work every time I get my ASS handed to me. When I get stopped out to the tick and then watch the market take off without me. When the market is trendless, when I hit buy instead of sell, and of course, when the SHTF, and when I wake up and find a turd like yours in my mailbox. I've given up trying to look smart many years ago and now just follow along. This has earned me the badge trend following moron. Although initially offended, I've since taken that ball and ran with it. I've acquired the domain, but arrows on the back of my business cards, and also inspired me to trademark Trading Simplified. Tips on how to reduce the amount of F-bombs. If you are getting stopped out a lot, either your stock picking could be better or your stops are too tight. Make sure that your stops are outside of the normal volatility. See the trading full circle and join. Yeah. Remember, focus on your levels and notice this morning the average true range on APRN. I had my stop super tight with APRN, but someone like, who was it, Frank, who had more of a looser stop loss, he would have never gotten stopped out and he pushed up into the profits. So that's when you got to calculate your size and how much wiggle room you're going to give for a stock to move and do its thing, and always check to see how much a stock's average true range is. That's something you could easily overlook, and I overlook it. Money and position management is crucial. George once said that when you buy a pet, it's going to end badly. That goes for trading too. Any trade, no matter how well though, has the potential to become a loser. And by the way, all trades, even the good ones, will end badly. The trend will eventually turn against you. As I wrote in Layman's Money Management, will cure a multitude of your sins. If you're trading at a proper size, then it will be much easier to follow the methodology. You don't decide to become a surgeon on Friday, read a book over the weekend, and then begin cutting on people on Monday. Yet in trading, many just dive right in. In fact, the more successful people are in their current or prior career, the more they think they can transfer that success to trading. You didn't become a doctor, a lawyer, or automatic transmission mechanic overnight. Trading, even if done only casually, should be treated no differently. The market doesn't move on your time frame. Even with experience, it's still going to take some time. You cannot put self-imposed deadlines upon yourself. Unfortunately, in spite of what certain system sellers might tell you, a market will not give you a steady paycheck. Sometimes you'll just have to wait. You're not going to get rich overnight, but if you work hard, longer term, you'll be pleasantly surprised. You must be present to win. You never know when the next big trend will come along. You never know. Last year, someone in my core trading service, someone said that they were taking a break because there will not be any new setups for the foreseeable future. I certainly couldn't argue with him because I didn't see anything on the horizon either. However, the next day I continued with my analysis, and as usual, we found two stocks which turned out into the two biggest of the year. That's the saying, you never know what you're going to get. How many times have we seen the market's dead and then the next day a stock run up and go parabolic, running up $50 a share? It's just important to show up every day because you never know what's going to happen. And then before you know it, a trend pops up like energy and gas, and they ran for 2 weeks straight. That's a good point. It's like when you're learning about trading in the stock market and you're getting all into it, and you keep making these mistakes, and you know you are making these mistakes, but you keep repeating these mistakes, right? Keep making the mistakes over and over and over again. And then you seek out help for somebody. Go to somebody about your problem and you tell them your situation. And then you tell them, I know I'm making these mistakes, but I keep making them. It's right there in the pudding. You're not admitting self-defeat, or you're letting your ego get in the way. You got to stop being so, what's the word? I think it's like being like a Mr. Know-it-all. In the markets, you got to have an open mind and be open to admitting defeat and adapting to the situation. Like we were just talking about a potential setup and an idea with Amazon. So we put together an idea and a plan for Amazon. We said to wait for that pop to the upside for it to surge up. And the level that I see it surging up to is this 2600 level. Then from that's when you could look to potentially short it for the downside and put your risk above that first pop that it gets. Well, let's say it keeps going and it blows through that and it runs all the way back up to 3,000. You got to adapt and change to the situation at hand. If it blows up over that 2600, then it could pull back and then hold that 2600 as support, build off that, and run up to 3,000. And it turned out to be an epic squeeze. This APRN's got a rounding bottom forming on it. Got a rounding bottom forming. Usually that's a bullish sign. It's gearing up to potentially blow up over that 450 and run up. Been consolidating all day, building. It's got potential to run up to $5.50, $6 APRN. Yeah, that's key stuff right there, man. You just got to take it one day at a time, and it's important to identify what type of trader you are or what you want to be. See, there's all types of different techniques, strategies, and ways to go about this. That's why it's really important to dive into all of this when you're new. Discover what's out there. You may gravitate to liking to use Fibonacci retracements, and you may like what Hawk likes. You like focusing on your larger cap stocks along with your indexes and some ETFs. Then you can start correlating some strategies around all of those things, and you're going after what catches your interest. For me, I like small cap stocks. I like the wild west of it. How every day I can show up and there's a new runner every single day. Every day. And then all I got to do is keep my eyes on the stocks that have popped off the days following for easy bounce plays and reversals and squeezes. I see them all the time. It's just all about finding your niche and then sticking with it. It's a lot of self-learning and growing over the course of your career. You're going to learn emotionally. Don't chase after high of day breakouts. You'll notice they fail majority of the time. So you'll stop. You'll do it enough to where you'll get sick of losing all the time. And you'll force yourself to stop. That's what will happen. You'll just get so tired of buying at high of day and losing and losing and losing. You'll just stop doing it because you'll get so sick of failing at that. And then that's when you'll learn. Don't buy high of day breakouts after doing it 1,000 times. But you start learning and visualizing that, hey, whatever I emotionally want to do, I can't act on it. I got to do the opposite. So if I get caught up in the moment and I want to buy, I have to take note of that and step back, take my hand off the mouse and say, what the hell am I doing? I'm getting caught up in the moment. I can't do that. That's why too, I don't show up an hour and a half, an hour before the market opens. I'll show up 30 minutes before the market opens, because for me, what I used to do all the time, I would show up at 8 a.m., 8:30, and then I would watch all of these stocks gapping up pre-market, and I'd get super excited and I'd get caught up in the moment, and then I'd watch the clock tick down right up till the market opened, and I would stupidly jump in on the stock because I've been waiting so patiently, letting all that anticipation build up for when I hear that ding, 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 and I'd buy in thinking the stock was going to rip up higher, and then it death candle down $2 and I'd take a huge loss. It's not worth it. So I'd much rather show up 30 minutes before the market opens, see what's been popping off and heating up, and then I'll let the market open up and let them setups continue to play out. See what else pops up. Makes sense though when I talk about this stuff and you guys are like, yeah, you're right. There is a lot of anticipation built up for all these stocks that are gapping up. I went through it, man. I've been doing this for a while. I went through it all. And I went through it by myself. I didn't have anybody streaming like this every day or being a part of a community like this every day and having someone tell me about this stuff. Trading that open, it's all about reacting. And you can't think about it when you trade the open. Because if you think about it, you'll get screwed. Trading that open, it's all about quickness. You get in on it, you push up in profit, you better lock it in. Because if you stop and let it go, or you think about wanting to take it off, it'll flush down on you, and then you'll see your profits go from green to red, and then you'll be kicking yourself in the butt, and then all those emotions start coming in, and then it's a downhill spiral after that. Yeah, and that's not mentioning how much the owners operators have to pay to fill up their tractor. Those truck stops, they charge like ×3 more than they do at regular gas stations. I remember that very well. I'd go in, I'd buy a pack of smokes, a Red Bull, and literally it'd be like $20. Something stupid. All right, let's see what's popular out here today, and then I think we're gonna call it. It's already going on 12, just after 12:30. In the heart of earnings season, looks like Redbox is the number 2 behind the SPY. Tesla, Apple, Amazon, Facebook, AMD, the Qs. Remember, we're in earnings season, so all of the large investors are going to be focusing on their long-term portfolios. We had a good gap up squeeze this morning, and CYN had a good gap up squeeze, but it just simply, everybody's taking profits. It's been fading out all day, and it broke trend below that $5. That's where the trend line was, $5. So you'd be looking for CYN to get back up over $5. I would still keep it on watch. Anything could happen. It could come back. The stock has came back a few times. Redbox has been consolidating after that morning squeeze up to $10. This has been consolidating. We don't know which way for sure it wants to go. It's a 50-50, high risk, high reward type of trade you got here. I would personally stay away from it. It's a 50-50. It could go up, it could go down. You don't know. Think about right now how much it already ran. Right here. You had your first leg run up here, your second leg, and then now this is your third and fourth leg to the upside. From $1, $2, that's a big run. APRN was another runner today. As long as APRN holds that $4 area, keep it on watch for a squeeze up over $4.50 for that run to $5, maybe $6. 19 million float. And then ATER was another one. Good run up this morning from 5s all the way up to 570s. It's been pulling back, trying to establish 550 as support. See if that comes back later on. Runs up to 6 and up over 6 for that run to 650. ATER has been a popular one. There's a handful of stocks. SOUN had a good comeback. That's been holding $10. This could easily run up to high $12.50, and it'll be up at all-time new highs. Rome called out BLTE. This one, it's got a good shot. It's just like Redbox, high risk, high reward. It's a new name IPO. It wedged out here at that $13 and fell apart. It's been trying to round out here at this $10. This could get a nice snap up here to 13. And if it breaks over 13, it could run up to 15. Who knows, $20 if it gets momentum. New name IPOs have been hot. And then NUTX has just been gradually just pushing up on air. FRGE is still running like a champ, up to a new high, 26. Good $3 run there. Yeah, let's see if CYN sells off all day today. Maybe it sets up tomorrow for something. You even got LGVN still sitting at that $10. Volume did dry up a lot though on this one. A lot of setups out here. Red box, who the hell knows what happens with this? I wouldn't be surprised this runs up to 15, 20 bucks. Lot of volume. 99 million on the day, and we still got what, 3 hours of trading left? So this is on track to hit, I think, around 150 million in volume with a 10 million float. Friday it did 101 million in volume. Today it's just surpassing what it did Friday.